Hey, how you doing today? I am Taquila Coleman. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to correct word curses you spoken over your spouse. So this video, it is inspired by a comment that was left up under the video I uploaded today. I'm going to read the comment, but I wanted to turn this into a video because many of you, when you're hit with rejection, hurt and pain, betrayal, you find yourselves, saying certain things to your spouse that you later regret. And now, it's starting to affect your mind. Now you're wondering, did I mess up my love story? You're wondering, is this the reason why my spouse isn't, taking steps towards me? So I want to talk to you today about how do you correct your own word curses when when you release these out of your mouth over your spouse. So let's pull up this comment. And here's the comment. It said, I said to him, you're not worthy of my love, when he rejected me and broke up with me because I felt so hurt. I'm afraid those words maybe have fueled this feeling in his mind. So here's how we correct this, okay? Because you said to him, you're not worthy of my love after he rejected you and broke up with you because you felt so hurt. So the first step in this process is you helping yourself to understand, okay, what's a better way on how you can show up next time? Because let's be honest, right? Even when we get in these God ordained marriages, your spouse is going to hurt you again. Your spouse is going to do something that's going to bring, hurt to you. Okay. Like as human beings, we are going to hurt one another. Okay. We're not going to always get it right, but I want you to learn from this, okay? So the next time you feel rejected, the next time, your spouse or even if it's someone else breaks your heart, what's a better way you can respond to the hurt and pain? Because we don't want to continue to repeat the pattern. We don't want to continue to respond the same way from the past, right? So therefore, this is why I'm bringing your attention to it so that you can get prepared now. See, many of the time when we say these things out of our mouth, it's simply because, number one, we were unaware of, like this is what's about to come flying out of our mouth. But number two, we wasn't prepared, for the response. Like we wasn't prepared in the moment on how to properly respond when I'm feeling rejected or brokenhearted, right? So let's get prepared, okay? So for you, and this is for others as well, when you feel rejected, hurt, pain, betrayal, right? I want you to write down, what is my first reaction to it? What is it that I usually say? Because some of us, we have that petty spirit in us, right? And so, you might have that clap back, that the clap back in you, you say something crazy to me, I'm going to say something crazy back, right? So, but we want to learn from these things, okay? We don't want to be clapping back, saying crazy things to people just because they're saying crazy things to us, because that is how you allow people to lower you or pull you down to their level, okay? You are the God ordained spouse. You are the chosen one. God doesn't want you going down to anyone's level. He wants you to be the example. He wants you to be the one that's pulling people up to your level, okay, and helping them to become better. So how do you usually respond, when you feel hurt and pain, right? And ask yourself, okay, what's a better way for me to respond? What are some better words, that I can say or not say? Sometimes when hurt and pain, when you come up under hurt and pain, you don't always have to respond. You could just be like, okay, well, you have a great day. Talk to you later. And you could just remove yourself from the person's presence. Okay. So it's all about, you understanding yourself and how to respond. The next thing I want to say when we talk about how to correct your word curses spoken over your spouse, well, you simply do that. You identify that this is a word curse I've released over my spouse. I don't want it to continue to affect him or her. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and cancel my own word. So, Father, in the name of Jesus, I cancel all word curses I released and spoken out of my mouth over my prodigal in the name of Jesus Christ. And let me just say this, because even when you're not in your spouse's presence, you can be releasing word curses or speaking word curses over your spouse. When you are talking to your family and friends about your person, and if you are speaking negatively about them, that's word curses you are now releasing over your spouse. When you call up whoever you call up right after the rejection or the betrayal, and you tell them, how you feeling, and you're talking about your spouse, again, if you're not mindful of your words, you are now releasing word curses over your spouse. So I wanted to just say that so that we understand, we're mindful even when we're talking about our spouses, that we're talking about them in a way, because there's a way where you can communicate yourself even when you hurt, where you're not cursing the person. Okay. And that takes skill, that takes awareness, right? That takes you being intentional with the words you are choosing to speak, right? But like I was saying, for step number 2, go ahead and just cancel. I rebuke and cancel, all word curses I've spoken and released over my spouse in the name of Jesus Christ. Let me pull up this comment. I rebuke, cancel, my own word curse when I said to my spouse, you're not worthy of my love in the name of Jesus Christ, and then this leads me into point number 3, okay? Because you said to him, you're not worthy of my love. For those of you who are watching, put yourself in the same situation. Whatever word curses you have released over your spouse, okay? Write that down. Now, see, here's the thing, okay? When you say you're not worthy of my love, because what I hear is you lost respect for this individual in that moment, okay? And that's how it came out within you. So now it's all about, when we talk about healing, and forgiving, our spouses, one of the ways how we heal and move into this place of forgiveness is by helping us, to develop that respect for this individual again. In the book Love and Respect, he gives an assignment to the wives where, I'm gonna paraphrase, he basically tells the wives in the book Love and Respect to write their husband a respect letter, basically outlining these are the things I respect about you, and then give it to them, right? So in your case, because you might be in a divine separation, you don't have to, I'm not saying write down a letter and all the things you respect about him and then give it to him. No, I'm not saying that, but I do want you to identify, well, what are the things I do respect about my spouse, okay? In the past, I said to him, you're not worthy of my love. Okay, so how do you feel today? What is he worthy of? Okay, start there and you write that down, okay? And so this is how we correct our own, word curses when we release them out of our mouth over our spouses, okay? We take it back, we cancel it, we rebuke it, we learn from it, okay? We don't continue to repeat that cycle. We don't continue to speak that way because I'm becoming aware of what came out of my mouth, and now I'm sitting down and I'm correcting it, right? And I'm also helping myself to, develop respect for my husband all over again, okay? So something, I just wanted you all to think about and consider, it's all about us becoming better, okay? Better wives in this process, all right? So with that, I am Taquila Coleman. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.